So when you come to the home office, when you launch the Revit, you'll be able to create a new project, create new, choose a template as a structure analysis, press OK, and we shall be able to open our new project. So on opening our new project, we can be able to close the existing projects and be able to only stay with the new project that we've opened. So now we come to the issue of saving the project. So we come to the File tab, Save, then we can give it a name, we can call it the bridge house. Bridge house, then options, reduce the number of backups to 1 to be able to save space. Then we can be able to save our new project. So Revit works with families or elements. And these elements, for example, when you look at the column, it's an element. So you can look at the structure column, you can load the family of the structure column. In this case, you can go with the concrete rectangular column. So it has been loaded into our project. So these elements have the instance properties which are here, and on changing these instance properties in the properties palette, it only affects that component in use, whereas changing the type properties in edit type affects all similar families in the project. So Revit organizes these elements in 5 types. So each represents something fundamental to your project. So the first category is model elements, and these model elements have 2 types of components under them. So the first type is the host elements. So these host elements are families which can be able to host other families. So examples of the host elements include walls, floors, ceiling, and roofs. Then the second category under model elements are model components. So the model components will include the stairs, the windows, the doors, and the furniture in the project. Then the other category are the datum elements. So the datum elements are grids, levels, and work planes or the reference planes. Then the second category, which has other 2 subdivisions, is the view-specific elements. So the fourth organization of elements here is the datum elements. And these datum elements here will include the text notes, the tags, the symbols, and the dimensions. Then the other 5th element is the details. The details will include the detail lines. They will also include the field regions. And the 2D detail components. So here in the noted tab, it gives you the detail elements. So other elements of the Revit, these include beams, which could be found in the structure tab. they also include structural columns, isolated footings, 3D rebar, which is here, and pipes, ducts, sprinklers, and air terminals. Yes, so after that we've opened our project, now we can be able to start on our project. So if you start, you must be able to set the desired parameters and the desired working conditions. So here we can able to change the level of details to fine, coarse, medium on the visualization tab. Then we can use the steering wheel to be able to navigate around the project. Then we can look at the various tools, the drawing tools, the conceptual tab. So when you look at, say, for example, if you select the wall, it will have its conceptual tab. So going to the conceptual tab, we come to the drawing tools. So the drawing tools will be used according to their unit. So these drawing tools are able to help us perform our modeling fastly. So the first tool is a model line. So if you want to use a model line, you could just use it as simple as that. To be able to create your new wall. It is telling me they are not visible. I think there are some settings in the V graphics which I have to edit. So the next tool is the rectangle tool. So it is here. So when you set the rectangle tool, it's bring a pop-up menu. None of the elements are there. So we have to enable these elements in our visibility settings. So the shortcut of visibility setting is VG. So view graphics, then model, we are looking at structure, model categories, we are looking at structure in this case. So we have to come to the columns. So looking at the columns, so the structure columns they are here. Okay, so we can come back using a rectangular tool. Let's first use the level 1. Let's draw from the first level. So we come here, we choose our walls, and we choose the rectangular icon. I think we're using the wrong icon. We come to structure, click wall, choose our option, boom, and our wall has been inserted using the rectangular drawing tool. So the mistake when using the structure template, you should enable using tools from the structure palette, not the architecture palette. So after that, we can go back to the wall. We'll look at the line tool, draw as a drawing tool. Can able to set the line tool here. And you can escape and select the new wall. Then you can be able to edit the parameters created using the line tool. Select and delete it. Then the next drawing tool is the inscribed polygon tool. Still using the wall. This is the inscribed polygon tool. We can able to change its settings in the options bar and be able to can add the number of sides. We can say we want 8 sides. So then we can able to click to locate the center. Then we can move in the opposite direction until we are satisfied with the location of our inscribed polygon. So this would represent a wall with 8 sides as described. Now Contextual tab. So the next drawing tool, still looking at walls, would be the circumscribed polygon tool command, which is here. When you click here, come back to the wall, the circumscribed polygon tool command. You could come here, edit the types. If you want to enable the radius, you could enable it here. You can reduce the sides to 6. Then you can enter the starting point of the wall. Then you can able to move until the new circumscribed polygon is formed in the form of the wall. Then the next drawing option is the circle tool. And the circle tool I think would be more easier to use. So we come at wall, select the circle tool, just need to locate the center. Just need to click to locate the center. Wall, the circular tool. Click to locate the center, then hold to move up to the desired radius. After the radius has been settled, then our new wall has been created, and this is how it appears. So when we come to put to fine, and we change the graphic display to realistic. So it's loading and it will show us how our circular wall will appear in the realistic visual style. So we can go back to wireframe. We're coming back to our first floor. We can unselect the circular tool and delete it. So our next drawing is the start and radius arc tool. So when you select the wall and you come into the start and radius arc tool, you need to select 3 points by clicking the left mouse 3 times. So we shall click here, and click anywhere else to be able to insert our start and radius arc tool. So when selecting the start and radius arc tool, we can be able to edit other parameters from the properties palette. Still selecting the wall, the same start and radius arc tool, you can be able to change some of the settings. You can tweak the chain, offset, and radius on the options bar which appears here. So our next drawing tool is the center ends arc radius tool command. So still using the wall, this is the center end arc tool. So using it, you need to first select the center of the radius, then select the other 2 points to end the radius. So the first center is here of the radius. You can select another point here, then be able to select another point to be able to end the radius of our center arc drawing tool. So the other tool we are going to tackle is the tangent end arc tool command, which creates a curve to the end of lines that already exist. So if you have your 2 lines, let's say you have the first line from here, then you draw another line. Another line from here to here. Then you have your 2 lines existing. Then we can be able to use the tangent end arc tool. So you come to all, select the tangent end arc tool, which creates a line between 2 tangents. So you select here and here, beam. So our tangent arc has been created between the 2 wall lines which were selected before. So our next drawing tool is the fillet arc tool command, which creates a fillet between 2 perpendicular lines. So if we add our lines, so in this case, of our lines, this comes to here. After this comes through from here to here, we draw another perpendicular line. So if we're going to use the fillet arc tool, we'll be able to come here, select the fillet arc tool, then we select the first entry and the second entry, then we drag the radius, then our new fillet has been created. So our next other tools which are there are the spline tool. So if you're choosing the wall, there's a spline tool, there's a spline tool, or I think in this version they haven't provided for the spline tool, but there's an ellipse tool which you use 2 radius to create, and you use control points to modify the existing radius. So if we select this spline to ellipse tool, we're able to draw the first ellipse. Then we can be able to control it with 2 radii to be able to come up with the elliptical wall. Then the partial ellipse command tool, which creates half of the ellipse. So when you click here, you drag here. So the partial ellipse tool works in this manner. You need to first create here to create half of the ellipse. Then use another radius to show its direction. That is the half elliptical wall. In case you're drawing a circular building, this is how you'll be able to design an elliptical wall in your construction. Then the other option in the drawing panel, I think the major one is the pick lines. So if you create lines, you can create a line based on your selection on the existing elements. So you could come here and draw some lines into your project. See lines. And after there, you can come and look at the option of pick lines. So you pick the first line, pick the second line. So it says that the two lines are overlapping. So we can again review the pick lines. So we can come to the can draw a model line. Then we can put it here. After drawing the model line, it's here set. Then we can come to structure, wall, able to pick lines. So we can be able to pick this existing line. Now after picking it, it will be able to form a wall, and we can be able to edit its parameters from here. So those are some of the few drawing icons which I've been able to explain in the conceptual tab or the modify tab in Revit.